Hello and welcome to this data service instructional video. This particular video is going to go over the parent portal, which is tied to ProgressBook. If you are having a hard time logging into the parent portal, our previous video deals with how to log into ProgressBook. So please feel free to go back and take a look at our previous video if you are having a hard time logging in. This video is going to deal with how to look at student data once you have logged into ProgressBook and you're on the student detail page. If you have multiple students and you are looking at one student's detail and you would like to jump back and look at another student's detail, you can always click on the dashboard button. It will take you back to your dashboard where your students are listed. If you have questions about what you're seeing here, you can always click the help with the little question mark there. It will take you to the help page. And of course, we would appreciate any feedback you have. You can click on the feedback link there and take a quick survey, and it'll help us improve our website. All right, so this is the student detail page. Once you log in and select a student, this is where it will take you. At the top, we've got all the typical student details, a student ID number, the student's school next year, and their homeroom, and any special programs a student might be in. Once you scroll down past that, you can see that we have Language Arts Progress Summary. So there's a lot of information on this particular card for Language Arts Progress, so we'll try to break it down piece by piece. On a student's report card that comes home, or the standards report, it shows you reporting categories. So the reporting categories are categories that take several like standards and chunk them together. So the student is graded at the standard level, and then several standards that are similar are chunked together and put into a reporting category. So you can see this first reporting category on the student's report is demonstrates understanding of sounds, syllables, and spoken word. This student has been assessed 15 times. We can see that because it's directly below the item number. And the student's proficiency level is progressing. So there are several, there are several different categories here, and you can see that the year's not over yet. There are still some categories that the student has not yet been assessed in, which is completely fine. So these are the reporting categories, and we'll talk more about that in a second. Here on the left, you can see a report of standards, and this is just a quick overview. So the student has not been evaluated on 30 of the 68 standards of ELA, for ELA. 3 out of the 38 that have been assessed, or 6 out of the 38 that have been assessed, the student is proficient on. 8 out of the 38 that have been assessed, the student is progressing, and 24 out of the 38 that have been assessed, the student is beginning. So if you scroll over each piece of the graph, it'll actually tell you this information as well. All right, if you would like to drill down and see more information, you can scroll down below this progress summary and you can see the standard detail. So if I click on this little drop down here, show standard detail, you can see that this first reporting category demonstrates the understanding of sound, syllables, and spoken words matches directly with the reporting category above. Demonstrates sounds, understanding of sound, syllables, and spoken words. These are the standards that make up that reporting category. So even though the student is progressing in this reporting category, there are some standards that they are proficient on. It's just that overall they're progressing. So you can see exactly how many times a student has been assessed as well. So these 4 standards are in this reporting category. And for this first standard, RF12A, the student has been assessed 3 times and they received a score of progressing. Their progress is progressing. And if you'd like to see exactly where they were assessed or what assessments they took, you can actually click on these links and it will take you to a list of the assessments. So I'm going to click on this link here. So once you click on that link, it will take you to these assessments. You can see where the student was assessed. So there's a list of assessments here, what the date was that the student was assessed. It tells you the actual standard here. And then it shows you a graph of the student's progress. And it gives you a quick overview of how the student's grade was calculated. So you can see that this student had a beginning, the first 2 were beginnings, then the next assessment that the student took, they got a proficient, but that only brought their score up to a 2.26, which is actually not quite proficient yet. They would be progressing at that point. Then they got another beginning, which brought their score down. So this graph actually shows you specifically how each assessment affected the student's score. If you'd like to change the category to a different standard, you can click the standard dropdown. It will take you to whichever standard you would like to look up. You can hit the back button and navigate back. So that's how you look at the standard and reporting categories for each of the ELA sections here. You drop down, and then you can filter through the standards. You can see that some reporting categories have not quite yet had all of the standards assessed, which is, at this point in the year, is completely fine. If I scroll all the way down, you can see that each subject area works exactly like language arts. It has the graph, it has all of the standards here on the left, all the reporting categories on the right, I mean. And then if you click on the left here, you can see where a student has been assessed and how many times. And of course, if you click on the number of assessments, it'll take you to show you the specific assessments and the actual drill down of how the student's progress affected their scores. If you have any questions, please feel free to fill out our, there are two things you can do if you have questions. One, you can go to our help section, or you can feel free to fill out our feedback form as well. Thank you so much for watching this instructional video, and we'll see you next time.